been out since 2005, and it's a hybrid guitar, so it has acoustic tones and electric tones in it. And that particular year it came out and won Acoustic Guitar of the Year, Electric Guitar of the Year. And the original T5 was kind of based off the Grand Auditorium body shape, okay, but it was thinner. The T5z, was introduced this year, was our attempt to focus more on the electric player. And so what we did is, instead of the 15-inch radius on our T5, which is basically like our acoustic radius, it's a 12-inch radius on the fretboard. And then instead of medium frets, there are jumbo frets on there. But the electronics are the same. The body shape is obviously a lot smaller and more comfortable, I think more attractive to an electric player.
You can play it a little bit longer. It's like a kind of a Les Paul kind of shape size. I got my first T5 the year they came out in 2005. I was playing with the Manhattan Transfer doing a European tour, and if you're familiar with their repertoire and all this, it's all over the board. Music from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They're still doing it. Very contemporary music all the way back to big band and R&B and pop and jazz and bebop and you name it. Fusion years, a lot of rock. So I used to take 5 guitars on the gig, you know, from an arch top. I do happen to have a D'Angelico New Yorker, which I took. That was just really great guitar. They like that chunk sound behind a lot of the tunes. I took a couple of solid bodies, nylon string and steel string, and sometimes a specialty instrument where I can play slide, like a national guitar or something, resonator guitar. So I showed up with just the T5 and on a 3-month European tour. So I worked on a few sounds so I could try and capture the essence of the different genres that they play, but on the same guitar. And it does a really good job, and that's what its design is all about. It's not designed to replace any of those instruments, but you can kind of get in that ballpark of that genre. And on top of that, it's got sounds that I can't get from all those other guitars. Most guitars are focused on like kind of one thing. And this is a true hybrid where it does a little bit of everything. The more time you spend with it and you learn about what really makes it unique, the more success you will have. I'll talk about a couple things that are really important. There's the 3 pickups. One is under the fingerboard that you can't see. You can see this one here. This is actually a full-blown humbucker. It's a stacked humbucker. They call it an air coil design. Looks like one of those old lipstick pickups, a single coil from the 50s. It's not. It goes almost through the entire body. It's really thick. Really powerful sound. And then there's a sensor like on the original ES system back here. 5-way switch to give you different combinations, which I will go through. One really important feature is something that people kind of overlook, and this is an active system. It has a battery in it, and that's what that light is all about. It tells you that it's active, which means you need a battery. Most electric guitars that you play, that we all have, all our favorite guitars, most of them are passive systems, so they don't require a battery. You never have to change a battery. But also, you can't do what you can do with an active system. If you look at a volume knob on a normal electric guitar, any kind of electric guitar, normally you will see it go 0 to 10. And I'm sure we all have those guitars that go from 0 to 10. And the tone goes from 0 to 10. It's not even a treble and a bass. It's combined. It's just tone. You have volume and you have tone. So basically, thank God they really sound good on 10 all the time, because that's about all you do with them, you know. This is a whole different thing, and I found with all the people that communicate with me about the T5, this is what they're not doing. We have an active system here, 0 to 10 on a passive system. 10 is a line level. That's what they call line level. We have a detemp position in the middle of these knobs, like the ES knobs on all the guitars. That detemp position is considered line level. That's the same as number 10 on a guitar. So 0 to 10 on my volume. Now we can go another 10. There's twice as much tone shaping. We have, instead of a tone knob, we have a treble and a bass knob. So they separate it. Again, line level on the bass would be there. We can go another 10. Treble, There's line level, another 10. So the battery is housed back here. And if you drop your pick in performance, there's a big one back here that you can use. You will not drop that.
And my garage stool.
Okay, thanks. All right, so let's go through some sounds here. Lastly, let me tell you what I like to do so you can take full advantage of its functions as an acoustic and an electric instrument. I run through a splitter box, just a little box, so your cable goes into that from the guitar, it splits, you send one sound, or one side to an acoustic source, the other side to an electronic source. Then you can take advantage of it. And with a splitter box that has a control on it, you can control where it goes. So I can go to the acoustic source, I can go to the electric source, or I can do all of them, you know. So here's the acoustic source I have. I actually have a three-way switch because I use a little monitor here in case we do a large venue and I can't hear the PA very well. This is the same acoustic source as the giant PA.
There's gain and level.
Yeah. Get a balance. This is house concert level. All right, this is position 1, acoustic. I'm going to leave it in the acoustic position. Position 1 incorporates the pickup under here and the sensor, which you can hear. If I pull it out of that position, that goes away. So this is the most acoustic sound. Put it into position 2, we've just lost the sensor, it's just this pickup all by itself. This is the warmest part of the guitar. If you envision like an archtop jazz guitar, that little floating pickup is always right next to the fingerboard because that is the absolute warmest part of the guitar. So I'm going to do some tone shaping for you now. We're using just this pickup, but I'm going to get rid of all that top end and make it more of a jazz tone. So I'm going to take treble and pull that back. You can see these white detent lines. So I'm going to boost the bass and pull back the treble, and this gives me kind of the detent lines are kind of staring at each other, and that's a good way to approach like a jazz tone. So just by doing that on the same acoustic system, you get that. Tap dance. All right, that's a really great sound. I love that. Put a little bit more treble back on it and get that. Little Lat thing. This Lat thing's a lot easier on the T5 than it is on the acoustic guitar. Back to detent. Let's go to position 3. This is one of those sounds that is really unique to the instrument. It's just this pickup by itself. Directly through the PA system, you get kind of a Telecaster sound if you were to go direct into a PA. It's the best I can describe it, but it's really, really unique. too. Let's leave it in there. Let's go to position 4. This is incorporates this pickup here with this one together. They're wired in what is called parallel wiring, which simply means your sound goes into this pickup and this pick individually, and then they meet at the jack. Position 5 is also the same two pickups. They're wired in what's called series wiring, and this means your sound goes through this first pickup, and then that sound goes through this pickup, and then that goes to the jack. So they meet before the jack. Position 5 is a little beefier sound. So I'm going to do all 3 of these so you can hear them and compare them. Here's 3. Here's 4. This is kind of a Gretsch kind of tone. This is 5, and this is kind of more of like a Gibson 335 kind of tone. This Gretschy kind of tone, I can get a little slap delay. Need a whammy bar for this song. All right. Anyhow, and then also it's good for like the Chet thing. I'll finish the song tomorrow when we come to the show. I love that song though.
Yeah.
All right.
You recorded that song?
Never have.
Is it the next day?
Do those at. I'm going to use just the amp because I'm going to do some distortion sounds. I'll show you what that sounds like through all the different pickup configurations. And then I'll put the PA back on in a minute. This is the coolest chord. It's my favorite chord. If you try to play this chord on a piano, you have to use your nose in the middle. It's a true story. It's a huge spread. And I've written it out and told you where to put your fingers, what frets, and blah, 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 blah. So if you email me, I'll send this and then that free lesson for coming to the show tonight. And my website is just waynejohnsononline.com. Or you can just Google me and then hit contact. That's my homepage. Hit contact and that'll tell me you were here, and I'll get you all set up. See, before it had too much low end, and now
Bass.
Yeah. All right, let's try this thing here.
Thank you.